All right, welcome back to Demon of the Week. And if you watched last week, you'll know that this week is the fourth of the wives of Samael, and her name is Eisheth Zenunim. Join me over on Patreon, where you will find all of my books, services, and courses in the shop, blog posts, and the various tiers which you can explore. You can get magical training in the Temple of the Horned Serpent First Degree, and joining as a free member gets you started with that, or explore the Magical Journal and the Egregore project. Hope to see you there. Just to start off with some alternative names that is mentioned on Johannan's site. There's Eisheth Zenunim, various spellings of that, which actually means woman of whoredom. There is Kodesha, which means temple prostitute. And Aisha Kandisha or Aisha Kandicha, which means she who loves to be showered, supposedly in seminal fluids. All right. So continuing from that, Eisheth Zenunim emerges from Jewish mysticism and demonology, appearing in texts again such as the Zohar and later esoteric interpretations. She is one of the four consorts of Samael, alongside Lilith, Naama, and Agrat Bat Malat, who we just have discussed previously, and she is the dark counterpart to the divine. Her connection to sexuality and seduction is varied, representing not only carnal desire but also spiritual transcendence through the body's urges. Eisheth Zenunim is both alluring and dangerous, a temptress who invites individuals to confront their innermost desires and fears. In some interpretations, she is the archetype of the sacred prostitute, embodying the paradox of sacredness within the profane. Eisheth Zenunim embodies raw passion, unbridled lust, and chaotic creativity. She challenges seekers to reconcile their shadow selves, encouraging them to face and integrate the darker aspects of their own psyche. Her domain is one of transformation. By exploring her mysteries, an individual can move beyond repression and shame, learning to embrace their full humanity. However, her lessons are not without peril. To invoke Eisheth Zenunim is to court the chaotic forces of unrefined desire and destruction, which can consume the unprepared. The archetype of the sacred harlot is central to understanding Eisheth Zenunim. Throughout history, sacred sexuality has played a role in many spiritual traditions. From the temple priestesses of ancient Mesopotamia to the tantric practices of Hinduism, sexual energy has been recognized as a pathway to the divine. Eisheth Zenunim represents this principle within a shadowed framework. Her association with prostitution, often seen through a patriarchal lens as sinful or degrading, is recontextualized in esoteric thought. Eisheth Zenunim defies conventional morality, asserting that sensuality and desire are neither good nor evil, but intrinsic parts of the human experience. She challenges societal norms and demands a re-evaluation of the ways in which women's sexuality is controlled and demonized. Approaching Eisheth Zenunim in ritual or meditation requires respect and caution. She is not an entity to be taken lightly, as her energies can be overpowering. Those who work with her often seek to explore themes of personal empowerment, sexual healing, or shadow integration. Her presence can help dissolve internalized shame and societal conditioning, allowing individuals to reclaim their autonomy and authenticity. Practitioners might invoke Eisheth Zenunim through offerings of wine, blood, or dark red flowers, symbols of her connection to vitality and desire. Rituals often include introspection, focusing on the ways repression manifests in one's life and how it can be transformed into liberating energy. However, her lessons often involve confronting painful truths and navigating through emotional and spiritual upheaval. In modern esotericism, Eisheth Zenunim has gained renewed interest as part of the resurgence of the dark feminine archetypes. Feminist and queer practitioners often view her as a figure of empowerment, embodying unapologetic sensuality and the resistance against patriarchal norms. She serves as a reminder that the feminine is not solely nurturing and passive, but also wild, destructive, and profoundly creative. The integration of Eisheth Zenunim into contemporary spiritual practices highlights a growing interest in working with shadow energies and exploring the complexity of the human psyche. As a figure of liberation and chaos, she offers lessons on the necessity of embracing the whole self, including the parts society deems unworthy or taboo. Johannan talks about the following in his article. Eisheth, along with Lilith, Naama, and Agrat, is often regarded as an infernal patroness of prostitution, but it's important to understand this term in a broader, more esoteric sense. Rather than referring to conventional sex work, the focus here is on ceremonial sexual practices used in sacred rituals and magic. These four govern not only the general concept of prostitution, but particularly the use of ritual sex magic. A figure like Aisha Kadisha, whose name translates to loving to be showered in sperm, is linked to certain ritualistic practices that involve the sacred or the sacrifice of semen in devotion to goddesses like Astarte or Astaroth Karnaim, the deity of fertility. He also mentions there is some disagreement among authors about whether Eisheth is the oldest or the youngest of these four figures, which suggests a non-linear perception of time within the astral realm. Also, that Eisheth is also considered a key figure in vampiric healing, a practice where a healer draws out negative energy from the ill or injured, purifies it, and reintroduces it to the person to facilitate recovery. Also goes on to say that as a solar spirit, Eisheth is often described wearing golden robes and a crown with 6 points, a symbolic representation of the sun. And Aisha Kandisha, traditionally depicted as a beautiful woman with goat-like legs, symbolizes unrestrained carnal desire. Johannan also says, despite her association with seduction and chaos, Eisheth is noted for her gentleness and care toward initiates. She is regarded as a protective force for those under her guidance, though she is harsh and unforgiving toward the uninitiated. Eisheth governs all expressions of human sexuality and represents both creation and destruction, holding the power to bring about dissolution and despair, as well as healing, peace, and protection. Her domain encompasses wealth acquisition, the defeat of adversaries, the pursuit of wisdom, vampirism, particularly psychic forms, dreams that inspire healing, dream walking during the day, mental manipulation, and apotropaic rituals for protection. All right, so that was all Johannan. And that brings us to the end of this week's Demon of the Week. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.